Hemp balls are one of my most favorite snacks or desserts. Really nutritious, surprisingly nutritious, even though they are considered a dessert. So we've got in this case, about 3/4 cup of soaked almonds. These have been soaking for at least overnight. So I'm just gonna discard that water and I'm gonna give them another rinse. And now these will go into our food processor. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grind all those almonds up in the food processor. Then we're gonna add in some other stuff as we go. So for this recipe, you wanna grind everything up nice and fine, if possible. Next, we're gonna add in 1 cup of sesame seeds. Sesame seeds is a great source of calcium, which is quite surprising to a lot of people when they find that out. So I'll put in about 3/4, just because we're a little bit under the full-on recipe requirements here. We're gonna do about 1/4 cup of honey. So I'm just gonna free pour this in. And we'll call that 1/4 cup. And coconut oil, which I have very, very sparing amounts of right now. So I'm gonna add in whatever I have left. And if you don't have coconut oil, then you should probably get some. Not really many good substitutes for this recipe, at least for the oil perspective. You don't wanna be putting olive oil in with hemp balls. It doesn't really taste good. Okay, so we're gonna get that going again. And what you should find is a kind of a ball-like consistency. Now, if that's not the case, because for instance, I don't have enough coconut oil in this case, I'm gonna put a little bit more honey in so that everything kind of sticks together a little bit more. So again, there is a little bit more honey in this recipe than some others. But because of the amount of hemp seeds that are gonna be coming up and almonds and sesame seeds, they kind of buffer out that sugar, at least hopefully. So that's what you want to start seeing. You want to start seeing that clump and start moving around like that. That's what you're after. So when it starts to move around almost like a kind of a clumpy group, that's the idea. Okay, so now we're going to take this out and we're going to add in our hemp seeds. So we're going to combine everything into a bowl. So we're going to put this it's almost like a paste at this point. And in this case, I'm going to use about 1 cup of hemp seeds as opposed to 2 that the recipe calls for, just because we're a little bit under on the overall quantity of ingredients here. So we'll put that in, scrape that off. So right now it's got this kind of like dough-like consistency, which is good. It's going to help everything to stick together. And once we get this package opened, so hemp seeds, very high source of protein, great source of omega-3 fatty acids, one of my favorite superfoods, and I think they're just tremendous. So we'll put those in. I'm actually gonna put in 1/2 cup because we don't have as much as we need. Okay, so I'm gonna basically kind of mix all this stuff together. And what should be happening here is that everything should start to stick together. If it's not sticking together, it could be because we don't have enough of those soaked almonds, which is gonna have kind of that binding power because they're soaked. And you don't wanna rely on having to add more honey in all the time, like I did in that food processor. So I'm at a point now where it's not as sticky as I would like. So I can do a couple things. I can add a little bit more honey in, I can add a little bit more water in, or I can just kind of go with what I've got and hope for the best. So what I'm gonna do just for the purposes of this video is I'm gonna show you what to do next, which is to take your clump of stuff and you're gonna turn it into a ball. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these on a plate. We're gonna put them in the fridge for as long as you want pretty much. So you want to refrigerate these until you're ready to eat them. Okay, so you can go as big or as small as you want. I would recommend if you're gonna have these as a snack, one is good. So they look like meatballs and they're loaded with stuff that has nothing to do with meat, right? So really good sources of omega-3 fatty acids, fiber, protein here, and these guys taste amazing. If you like baklava or halva, like those type of Middle Eastern types of desserts, you'll love this. This is a really, really good and nutritious little thing. Okay, so we've got 3 balls. We'll work with that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of take those and I'm gonna let them sit in the fridge. They're done, okay? So if you wanted to eat them like this, you absolutely could. There's nothing raw that is not safe to eat here. So you can have them one off like that, or you can store them in the fridge, which I'd recommend you do if you're not gonna eat them all at once like this, okay? So here we have our hemp balls. They took me maybe 7 minutes to make, and beautiful dessert, beautiful snack throughout the day. Even your kids will really enjoy those too.